Early indications of autism in babies. One thing that appears to baffle several is when I tell them that, I knew from day one our boy was autistic. Exactly how could I possibly understand, or a minimum of, be worried regarding autism before we even left? While there is recognition of autism in both youth and also the adult years, many are uninformed of the early warning signs of autism in children. It's usually comprehended that every kid creates at their very own rate and also degree. Nevertheless, it can be a warning when a child doesn't reach particular turning points. According to a 2005 Canadian research study published in the International Journal of Developing Neuroscience, it is feasible to identify whether a kid as young as 12 months old will certainly establish autism. With that being said, Alicia shares her experience identifying her very own youngsters with autism and also what some of the most common early warning signs are. Prior to autism was identified as Cleary jump back over 20 years into my teen years, I became an older sibling for the extremely first time. I absolutely loved my infant bro and spent every waking hour I might with him. While I did not understand why, at the time, I understood my mama appeared overwhelmingly exhausted. Something was a lot different from even how she was throughout her maternity. Looking back, it was greater than simply postpartum anxiety. It was pure exhaustion from my bro having non-stop sleep disturbances and also not receiving those interactions a mommy generally received from her child. Like me, my brother got his autism medical diagnosis later than what is thought about suitable. His diagnosis did not come until he was 10 years old. When I recall now, the indications were all there. He did not show the eye contact you would certainly anticipate from an infant. Before also being able to roll, sit up, or walk, his little arms and legs would certainly stiffen up. As he came to be older, he did speak promptly. Nonetheless, other milestones like resting, crawling, as well as strolling were all late. Our kid's very early warning signs of autism. Now if we leap back to my child's birth, I saw these same behaviors play out once more. I breastfed all my kids and our boy took to feeding immediately. No trouble at all. Nevertheless, not when in the very first 24 hours did he provide any direct eye get in touch with. He did not also provide those responses to baby grins. All our boy's preliminary testing returned good, except his hearing examination had some preliminary warnings. Upon retesting, he also got rid of that test. We went house after only a 2-day stay. The following 18 months of his life I would take place to bother with autism. He never ever crept, however he struck all the other turning points in sensible time. I get in touch with still did not exist without promoting as well as there was a great deal of stimming. He would certainly leap continuously, spin, and flap his hands near his eyes while watching TV. By the time we reached his 18 months checkup, our son had just 2 warnings on the autism screening type our medical professional had us fill in. I was shocked by the set of questions, as I had never ever seen it prior to when our daughters were this age. We were told to simply keep an eye on him as well as allow the doctor to understand if any more red flags turned up. By 19 months, our kid shed all his words. I immediately called the medical professional as well as we were placed on the waiting list for autism testing. In the meantime, we dealt with work-related, speech, and also physiotherapists to assist get him back on track. Their first testing revealed that at 20 months old, he was only at the skills as well as speech level of a 7-month-old. While this was devastating information, recognizing these warnings lead not just his autism medical diagnosis at 23 months, but likewise to obtain that much required early treatment. Early warning indicators of autism in children. Knowing what to try to find when it pertains to developing delays in your youngster is essential to getting them the resources they require. Below are a few of the early signs of autism in infants to watch for: consistently not make eye call while being fed. Not grinning when being smiled at. Does not react to their name or acquainted voice. A lack of social motions, such as swing or aiming. It does not reach to be held. Lack of interest in other people. Unable to follow objects aesthetically. Having experienced a bro be diagnosed with autism, I recognized what to search for in my very own boy's autism long before he was detected. Yet this was an unusual circumstance, as most parents do not have that first-hand knowledge. Recognizing what your kid should be able to do by a particular age is very valuable in capturing developmental delays early. If you discover these early indications of autism in your baby, connect to your child's physician to discuss screen for developmental holdups. Thanks for watching this video.